Okay, we'll answer one more audience question before moving along here. But I thought it was a great one. Come through from Thomas. Thomas asked for antibody production. Are there anybody have experience or thoughts on continuous processing harvest direct load to protein A? Is this a feasible option at GMP worth pursuing? Raj, you're on my screen. What do you think? Do you want to take a crack at Thomas's question here?
Sorry, can you repeat that for me?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on continuous processing harvest direct load to protein A? Is this feasible at GMP, or is it worth pursuing continuous?
I would say it all comes down to, how you kind of like stagger your production downstream, how the downstream can handle it, but also, maximizing the resin utilization, right? Those are the two things that I would consider when you talk about continuous processing, where you kind of draw the line, what is your processing capacity so that you can keep it moving. I think it's an upcoming thing. Every company wants to be continuous, but there's only so continuous you can be. Somewhere you got to stop. So I think that's a line that everyone is trying to figure out. Again, it goes back to what your downstream can handle end to end. When I say end to end, right after you say the batch is ready to process, you should continuously keep moving.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Just
Raj.
to piggyback on that as well, I think one of the critical parameters here is really residence time. How long in your surge tank you're able to keep your product stable for, and what that looks like, independent of whatever process you're running, whether it's an antibody, vaccine, ADC, having well-defined stability and hold time profiles at these critical juncture and changeover states helps alleviate a lot of future potential quality events or deviations that might be filed going outside of that known defined design space. So if you're able to build that in from the get-go, right at your early process development, and get that validated as part of your routine manufacturing process, you're going to save yourself a lot of time, effort, money, and resources defending this in future events as they come through your routine manufacturing state.
Thank you, Eric. Anyone else want to chime in here on the continuous angle?
I think if you're going to do something continuous, chromatographically, protein A is low-hanging fruit for sure. But it's a pretty, it adds a lot of complexity to PD that doesn't pay until you're commercial. And so it's personally, I'm not a big fan of continuous, although there's a lot of really smart people who disagree with me. But the reason I'm not a big fan of it is because of the effort that you need during process development for phase one. It delays phase one. And most things in phase one don't make it to phase three. And the payoff is real, but it's small.
Thank you, Mark. Doug, were you saying something?
I was going to totally agree with what Mark just said. And not only, when you look at a high level, where would it be appropriate? If it's a naked antibody is the drug, and it's like a blockbuster, like Enbrel, for example, and the demand is just huge, but you won't know, right? When you're doing phase one, you're not going to really know that. And by the time you get to phase three, it's like the amount of work to get this new process in place is just going to be delayed. So there are uses for it of saving money, but sometimes it's like speed is the number one, right? And cost is number two. And Mark hit it right on that, if 8 out of 10 phase one programs aren't going to make it to phase three, then you should just have more shots on goal at phase one and just try to get as many programs into phase one as you can with your platform technology and hope, that a few of them, if you're lucky, can make it there and kind of defer that cost if you need to. But typically, if clinical data looks really great in phase 1-2 and you're launching into pivotal and commercialization activities, then hopefully it's a little easier to raise some funds to get to that point. But putting all that cost and time into phase one, to me, it also doesn't really make sense.
Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. I'm Tyler Menichello, Chief Editor of Bioprocess Online, and thank you for watching. If you like that, you're going to love all the other content we have for you at Bioprocess Online. from archived live events to long form videos, short form videos, podcasts, expert contributor guest columns, newsletters, editorial from me. It's all over there at Bioprocess Online, just waiting for you to dig in. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, head on over to bioprocessonline.com and I'll see you there.